Welcome everyone to this live stream. In today's live stream, I'll be playing 3+0 Blitz, as we've been doing for the last maybe month or month and a half. As usual, I start this stream by talking about this daily puzzle. Normally in Lichess, you have a daily puzzle. Normally it's not too difficult. In this case, we clearly have lots of tension. It's a very sharp position and you have to kind of work out what's going on. So first of all, black, probably one of the most important factors here is that it's black to play. White just took this pawn and it's attacking our queen, but on the other hand, we are already attacking white's queen. So knight 63 is in the air, and in fact, that's the first counter move you should consider. Why is this the first counter move you should consider? Well, other than checks, knight f2 and queen takes e4, queen takes e4 being refuted by queen takes e4, d takes e4, and rook takes c7, which we can do with short calculation. It's not that difficult. We quickly realize that this is the most forcing move after that. The knight takes e3, what's going on after rook takes e7? Well, the truth is that after rook takes e7, white has both the rook and the bishop hanging. And as a result of that, we are winning. So let's go knight takes e3, and this is it. So the reason why we solve a daily puzzle before we start playing Blitz is because it kind of warms up our brain, and well, it doesn't stop us from blundering, but hopefully it stops us from blundering even more. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make sure I'm not lagging. Hopefully it stops us from blundering, and after rook takes e7. Okay, so I think we're doing well. Okay. Well, hopefully everyone has been doing okay, enjoying your weekend. And without anything else to add, let's dive into 3+0 chess. Okay. I'm gonna click here. I'm gonna go to custom. Usually, I mean, I could click on 3+0 here, but I like clicking on custom and making sure that I'm gonna get the strongest opponent I can get. So our rating is 25-17 currently. Probably it's gonna be lower by the time this stream ends. I do play stronger when I'm off stream. That's a fact with any chess player. But anyhow. I usually put this filter so I play against stronger players. Sometimes I struggle to find a game, so I make it a little bit wider, and that's what I'm gonna do. Got technical for a second there. Okay, we're gonna get a game pretty quickly. We're gonna exercise our d6 repertoire, heavily based, in fact, purely based off Leon Livaich's great online resources. He has a YouTube channel. Check it out 100%. He knows what he's talking about. He's done so much work. He has a chess level course. Yeah. So we're gonna get into this structure, which is like an English rat without white playing d4 quickly, so delaying d4, but now white goes not only d4 but d5 as well. I'm gonna close things off with c5. I didn't see a reason why to take, and I didn't want to keep the tension either. I'm gonna bring my knight to e5. And actually, I don't know why I'm putting so much of my effort trying to explain this, because we're playing against the 2600 and I need to focus. Okay, f4. I mean, we could take en passant, of course, but I think we want to keep things closed, although they will get g4 pretty easily, so for the sake of getting pieces out, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna play knight h5. If f4, I have bishop h4, knight g3. So that's why they go for this. And now I wanted to go f4, in hopes that white will play e4, but of course they're not gonna do that. That would be killing both of these knights. Well, we'll see. So since last stream, we've learned how to play a little bit quicker. Oh no. I know what's going on. Oh yeah. There we go. Luckily for us, our opponent is still thinking. That was pretty good. Pretty well timed. Okay, so bishop f5. White simply puts something on e4. I don't see much reason behind that. I'm gonna play king 8. I want to play king h8 because it seems like a very useful move. Or should I go for a6 b5 right away? Where do I want to play? In the queen side or in the center? Okay. I don't want to play bishop h4 because d6 becomes weak. Hello, Viking. I'm doing well, I'm gonna go a6 b5. Okay. Do I want to go b5 regardless? Something in me tells me that it's probably going to be yes. Actually, yeah. Look at this. So takes, I take, and I invade. And if I get the dark square bishop, that should be excellent news. So if bishop takes b5, knight takes b5. Okay, they take with the knight first, which I miscalculated. Very poor by me, but I think I have c4. And the idea of c4 is to open things up further. But maybe it's a little bit premature. Yeah, it's a little bit premature. Okay, I'm gonna go for it because we're running out of time. Things become a little bit more subjective now. Maybe after bishop 65 this. Okay, I'm gonna take here to force the a file to open up. Okay. Let's take here. And I could take on f3 as well. Which one do I want? I want to take here and play bishop f6 as quickly as possible. Bishop f6 is designed to get rid of the only defensive piece white has. Or one of the best defensive pieces white has. Okay, so let's play queen a5. I have a deadly threat. Queen a1. If bishop takes f6, I just take. Queen a1 is still a very deadly threat. And now, what do we do? How can we bring the knight into the game? I don't think it's possible, so... Actually, it is possible. Let's go knight g6, knight e5. Multi-purpose move, actually, because rook takes f3 is now a threat. Rook takes f3 followed by rook f2. So knight g6, good move. According to me. Ah, okay, so my opponent sacrifices. Goes for this. Which is desperate. Definitely desperate. So let's go queen c7. Or rook d8. Rook d8 is a little bit... let's go rook f8. Let's go rook f8 just to keep an eye. Rook takes f3 was maybe better. Okay, this shouldn't work because of check. Ah, okay. Rook a2 is the threat. Yeah, now it's all about the clock. Queen f3. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the game, crew 12. Let's analyze this pretty quickly. Yeah, send the game. You're playing lots of tournaments. So our repertoire was a huge success. Our opponent, yeah, played this b3, which is known as the Sukertor opening according to leeches. But of course, you can be 1,000 things. And the engine already doesn't like white going d4 here. Because it seems like black just gets some sort of... Sorry, I'm not sure if French, but In these positions, normally the bishop is more useful on c1. So if you went b3, bishop b2, you're just wasting tempos for the bishop to not be that good. And as a result of that, white saw kind of, they were desperate to play c4, d5, which, yeah, black is fine. Although black shouldn't have played c5. I made a mistake here. I should have just played knight bd7, keeping the tension. I was a little bit worried about these things. Didn't want to calculate. I was lazy. And later on, we played f4. Good move. So this is the critical moment of the game. I think here white should have castled directly instead of playing f4, but after this, yeah, we just got a good position. White here should have played knight c4, but that's already a very difficult move to make, sacrificing the pawn. And here apparently we should have played bishop h4, which is what I wanted to do, but I don't like that I had to take care of this. But queen e7 according to the engine and everything's fine. Okay, what if rook g1? Rook e8. Okay, king d1, let's say. Interesting. So black just puts pieces like that, and they're in very good squares. Okay, so instead of that, I went a6, b5, like super aggressive chess. Bishop f5 was better, because after an a4 I have knight takes f3, and it's loosening up the e4 square. But instead of that, I went c4, now this is equal, but now it's back to, it's only equal if white goes bishop takes e4, so technically speaking, this is a good, well, practically speaking, this is a good choice. Bishop f5 was the best, but after this, some complications, but white has to be more accurate than black, that's for sure. For example, here, it's, according to the engine, slightly better, okay, it's equal, It's essentially, I mean, 0.2, 0.3, roughly equal. Knight g6 is a good move, rook takes f3 is now a threat. And my opponent actually, yeah, this is winning. What? This is winning? I thought this wouldn't be winning, because I have enough pieces, and I even thought rook takes f3 was possible, but I forgot about bishop d5. Okay. So this turned out to be, well, like, working. Rook takes f3 was better, threatening rook f2, I'm assuming. Or rook takes h3 and then rook h2, stuff like that. Maybe rook f2 is actually not a threat. Let's say white plays a... Okay, let's just triangulate. Okay, it's black to play now. Let's say black plays this. Okay, it is a threat to that. Yeah. We're winning the queen. Okay, I'm not sure why the engine doesn't like rook f2, but okay, it makes sense that pawn grabbing also wins. And after this, yeah, it was no longer about the position, it was about time. And we ended up playing a little bit quicker than our opponent. Okay, I'll take a look. Let's see. Updating. Oh, okay, there we go. That's quicker than I anticipated. Ah, okay, there we go. Oh, we're getting spoiled. So you're playing with the white pieces, right? So we're analyzing Viking's game. You're playing with the white pieces. And your opponent just blunders a pawn. Okay. Let's close this. So you're going for d3, e3. d4, e3, sorry. Very interesting. Your opponent copies you. Knight d2. So you're going for a call system. Very respectable. You just take a pawn. You come back. Very good move, bishop d3. So normally you want to trade pieces when you're up material, but at the same time, this bishop on d3 is much better than the bishop on d7. So you're following the right principle of keeping the good bishop, if that's a principle. Or I should say you're not going against, you're not following a principle dogmatically. Aha, now we see what you're passionate about. Yeah, knight f3 is probably fine, but f4, yeah, you're up a pawn. Although it's c64 here is annoying, because you can't take with this. So maybe this is why you shouldn't go for the stone wall. And if you have to take with the c-pawn, let's see if the engine backs me up. Yeah, knight gf3, nice. Like just, sorry, knight gf3 directly. And you're gonna play e4 at some point. But c64 wasn't played, this was the best move. Castles. Wow, yeah. Oh, big mistake. So g4 very interesting, and your opponent makes a big mistake closing things off. Closing things off when you're getting attacked in the flank. You went bishop c2. Yeah, this looks already pretty. I wonder if bishop takes h7 already works. Maybe no. Oh, maybe no. I mean, I don't see how to... I mean, black's pieces are all here, kind of stuck. And if this g6, it's game over. Knight takes e5, you can, I think, go rook h3. And once again, something like... Ah, no. Because there's knight takes g6. So I just have takes e5 and then g6. But that's definitely something to calculate. Yeah, bishop takes f7 worked, but your rook f3 is fine. It's not losing the advantage. And then your opponent is asking for trouble here, yeah. Whoa, what an amazing move, yeah. Queen h5, I was calculating queen h5 wrongfully. The first kind of move you should think of is what you played. What a nice finish. That was a miniature. It does work, okay. That was an amazing game. But you just like the stun wall too much. You like the stun wall too much, which is fine, I guess. I haven't taken a look at the course you told me about. Who was it? Chesbra, I think, with the stun wall. Well, thanks for that. Let's see if I can... There we go. You're getting many rapid tournaments. Chesbra, okay. Maybe the stone wall is one of those openings that that is only sound against certain move orders. Or maybe it's playable against anything, like d6. No! My opponent was a little bit impatient. Well, it's good that you're warm, like all playing a lot. Okay, f4. Let's sacrifice the pawn here. I think this is playable. Something like this. Let's play knight h6 with the idea of f5, or is that stupid? It's probably stupid. Let's play knight f6 instead of d3. We're just down a pawn, it seems. I wanted f5. If I could play f5 here, it would be less bad, but okay. Okay. Yeah, this is not good. Let's play h6, asking the question. Probably I'll have to play bishop e7. Yeah, this was a disaster. This was a disaster. Okay, let's play rook e8. Encourage something, something. Bishop c7. They're calculating e5. e5, I take on e5, knight takes e5, bishop takes e2 seems to be working. Okay. They want a5. Let's go a6, b5. Especially if a knight lands on c4. If there's no knight on c4, I'm not gonna go b5. Okay, I'm gonna go b5 as promised. A takes b5, a takes b5, rook takes a8, queen takes a8. And the idea is to get out of the... Oh, that's very annoying. That is very annoying. I suspect that I need to sacrifice already here because I'm already worse. Although knight takes e4 is a very annoying move here. Well, at least he keeps some pieces on the board. But this is not good. Okay. Let's keep pieces on the board. h5, g6, f6, h5. Yeah, I experimented in the opening and it didn't work out. It happens, it happens. Okay. Yeah, now I'm kind of forced. Oh, there's queen that takes a 5. Let's not fall for that. Oh, but there's nothing I can do to stop that. Well, there's nothing I can do. I guess I have 93, but no, I don't have even 93. Yeah, this is hopeless. What did I do wrong? Terribly wrong in that position. How did people play this? Bishop g4 is fine. Ah, f5 right away. Wow. I didn't know that. Why not bishop d6? What? Bishop takes f3 is the best. Ah, okay, because you're taking the pawn. I see. But still, bishop d6 looks much better. And the engine just completely disagrees. Interesting. Okay, well. So that's why people play e3. But e4 is the most popular move by far, I'm quite sure. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Not by far, though. So I was wrong. e3. And after e3, it is looking pretty rough. Yeah, this was just a very bad opening. If you don't come out alive from the opening in these games, then you might as well resign. Let's move on. Road to EWC. Not sure what that stands for. People are playing this more often now. I should have checked it. Should be 3, trying to go for e4. Takes. Knight c3. Actually, let's go bishop d2. Let's go castles. And already here we didn't get anything out of the opening. So we failed. We failed. We failed. We should have castled right away. But it's fine. It's fine. Don't panic. Don't panic. We're threatening bishop f3 now. Deadly. Super deadly. Knight takes e5, d takes e5, queen takes d1. I get the bishop pair. Should be slightly better. Slightly. Emphasis in slightly. Bishop f3, let's pin that guy. Okay, everything gets traded. But we're not gonna offer a draw. Let's go bishop e2. I couldn't go king f1 before. Maybe I could have gone. Okay, they go for this. Bishop g4. Bishop g4 is a secondary move. f4 is also very logical. I'm just gonna take. Let's see if we can squeeze something out of this. Go f3. They're trying to play on the clock, as you can see. Now I'm trying to create a passed pawn here. And my bishops are better than anything else. If I manage to do that. Let's go bishop e4 now. Okay, let's go g4. They're gonna want to go 97. Okay, so let's go king f2. Okay. Bishop d3, keep the bishop pair. Okay, we're making small progress. Small progress is better than no progress. Okay, king g3. Clearly, all the action is going on over here in the king side, so we're going to continue putting pressure there. I think f4 here rings. Looks good. Go bishop d3. There's gonna be a lot of moving around. So the idea of this is to go g6. I mean, g takes f6 is also pretty annoying. Now I have bishop b4, I thought. This loses to bishop c4, I think. And I thought I had g6 here. And I'm winning. Maybe I'll have king h4, which is stronger. Because g6 is still threatened. And if I go g6 first, then maybe there's king f6. So I'm preventing king f6 for now. Maybe it's just gonna transpose. Okay. Let's come here. Not allowing bishop c6 just in case. My pawns are in light square and dark squares except for this one, so makes sense. And I think we're winning now. Let's triangulate to seem cool. And probably at some point we'll have to push. Okay. Yeah, we'll probably have to go f4 soon. Could also go bishop d5, bishop f7. Okay. Let's invite bishop b7. They're not excited. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, I push. Now I'm coming over here. Should be winning, but I have 11 seconds. I'm not lagging, am I? Thank goodness. Okay. Let's enter. King c7. Now we're winning. I know we're not winning. Maybe we're never winning. And we're winning. My opponent's not gonna make it. Or maybe they will. Oh, hui! Thanks for the game. Road to EWC. Ay, ay, ay. It's getting unbearable. Let's analyze the game. Because it's unacceptable that we didn't get anything out of the opening. I had this earlier today as well, and I didn't check it. I want to see Magnus. SA stands for South Africa, yeah. Ah, yeah, so they were in, they were doing the diving championships. Well, all of that is very, all of that seems very, they're experimenting a lot. And there's tons of money being injected in that. But okay, good for them, I guess. Okay, what did we do wrong here? C3, delayed Alapin. D5. First time I see it on leeches, the opening's something like with E6. So D5, E takes D5, Queen takes D5. They go D4. So we go D4, they go Knight F6, and here we should go Knight A3. This has happened before. Okay, what about Knight C6? Knight A3 as well. And I guess it transposes. Yeah. So after D4, Knight F6, Knight A3, black has Knight C6 here, and it's the main line. And there are tons of games. I'm just worried about Knight G4. Okay. So this is a line. C takes D4 is more logical, but then Knight B5. Yeah, Knight B5, that rings a bell. And then you take with the Knight. But this, I need to study this. I need to study this properly. And just to check the endgame. Hello, Roger. Are they gonna play Magnus and Hans in diving chess? So instead of that, I went Bishop E2. Bishop E2 is the second most popular move. But then I should have castled here. Should have castled here, and after C takes, they go Bishop E7, and even though we get Knight C3, they just go Queen D6, and it seems to be nothing. No problem. Yeah. And there's also this line with Knight C6 direct, something like this, and I just transpose this. Yeah. Knight B5, Queen D8, and then Bishop F4, Knight D5, Bishop G3, A6, Knight C3, castles, Rook C1, and White is scoring slightly better. So if anything, we should have gone into that. Or why after castles they have to take. Oh no, it's happening. Oh, we're back. Magnus is not going to play the diving chess, he said, but they should get each other in the freestyle tournament starting the 8th. Oh, okay, okay. Hopefully you guys are not lagging too much. We got a hit. A lag hit, but it's definitely not as bad as before. I think I used to get lag. No, it is lagging, it is lagging, it is lagging. But it's fine now, I think. Waiting for confirmation. Should be fine, no? Is it better now? So I don't understand why after castle short side. It's fine now, thanks. I'm not sure why after castle short side black takes on d4. Like what's wrong with bishop e7 keeping the tension? c4. What if queen d8? What? Wow. This endgame is slightly better for white. Interesting. d4 followed by d takes c5 and the endgame is slightly better. I thought that the only reason why white should go, or the only purpose behind c4 is if white is getting d5. But not c4, d takes c5. Interesting. We didn't check the endgame. I suspected it was winning. Let's not check it. So we think we were always winning. Okay, finally we're getting a little bit more Philidor-ish. So we're gonna go e5. This is the Philidor endgame potentially, unless white wants to go knight f3. No. So bishop c4 is a move here. King e8 is kind of forced. Some people play bishop e6, I think. So knight b5 is very serious. There are two ways of defending against this. Knight a6. There's even bishop d6, but the best move is bishop b4 followed by bishop a5. So now knight takes e4 is a threat. That's why usually white plays f3. And now I have a6 b5, which already gives black an absolutely fine position out of the opening. So I'm gonna go bishop b6, just to prevent bishop e3, although maybe I shouldn't. Maybe it's not something to worry about. Yeah, this is where we pause for a second. What do we want? We want to go f6. Eventually, we want to reroute this knight to e6 or something like that. I think that's what we want. But we also want... I'm going to start with bishop e6. Because after king e7, I was worried about bishop e3. They go knight c2, they want bishop e3. Which is fair enough. Let's go... a5 is a move, but they go a4, and it's, I think, a little bit more annoying for me. I'm gonna go here on knight d7. Wow!
Lol, you get white again, so play h4 first move.
Okay. Viking. Thank you for that. h4, 1 h4, okay. Technically, it's fine with the current repertoire. Okay, we're getting the bishop here. Or should we keep the tension? King e7. Now let's take. Ah, we could go a5. But then bishop d5. Okay, let's take and go. Knight d7 is also interesting. But let's take and go bishop e6. We can also go bishop e6 right away. Ah, yeah, this is a tough one. Okay, let's take and play bishop e6. And we have to play much quicker. Quicker. This. g6. Okay, my opponent is doing weird things. Create a weakness on b3. Or loosen the structure. Okay, I'm happy with this. c6, knight d5. Nothing of that. None of that, sorry. Knight d7, knight b4, rook ac8 or rook dc8, I'm fine. I'm looking good, actually. Because white's knights are completely neutralized. Completely neutralized, and my plan is reasonably simple, which is putting a knight on d4, and of course white is probably going to try to stop that in some way. Maybe I already messed up, by the way. I think I already messed up. Okay, I'm gonna go f5. Trying to go for f4, limit the knights further. Okay, knight b5 is a candidate move. King f6 is a candidate move, actually. Because I have c5 in the end. I have 19 seconds. Okay, let's take this and take potentially on c4. Go bishop e3. Do I have rook a5? Go rook e8. And activate the king. Pretty brave. But given that this rook is doing nothing. Okay, let's take and come here. Okay, this. 96 is slightly scary, but I have king f6 back. Because my king is so active, then looks good. Okay, completely forgot about that. Classic. But once again. Oi. Thought they were gonna play rook c2. This is bad news. Okay, now this is a draw, I think. Oh no, it's not. Yeah. Thanks, Monty. Goodness gracious. We have to play 1h4 next move. So we were doing extremely well out of the opening, and then we just managed our time very poorly. Classic. So everything is fine here. Everything is fine. We should have played c5 here. Threatening c4. Even if bishop e3. And then what we achieve here is for the knight to not come back into the game. So c5 makes tons of sense, and it's pretty superior to the alternatives. So now it's around equal. Now it's back to slightly better for black. And yeah, our position was dominating. I mean, not now. This is all equal. Even this is slightly better for white. But after this, then, yeah, the idea of knight d7. Now we were slightly better. This is wrong, actually, because of this, and we're losing the pawn, which actually we realized, but too late, of course. So I should have played h5 instead of f or f5. And of course, this is still this is not possible. So our knight on b3 is nice. Hello, Shahad not found. Hello, Kaya. Ertu Kaya, sorry. Or should I call you Kaya? And yeah, here we were slightly better, although we were never better, much better. We were only slightly better. We were never winning. Interesting. Okay, let's see if we get white. If I get black, then... If I get black, do I play normally then? I think so. What is happening? Okay, we're gonna play 1h4. Sponsored by... Okay. Vincent Viking. Vincent Keimer. Okay, okay, knight f6, move 1, we play d3. e4, we play... Well, sorry, e5, but technically if we're switching the colors, it's e4. I guess we play knight f3. I guess we play e4 now. And if d5, knight bd2. And we're playing a Philidor. Suboptimal Philidor. With the extra move h4. How useful is this? Not sure. Yeah, this is a bad opening choice with 1h4. I should have chosen something a little bit more closed. I just wanted to use the d6 line again. I just like that line too much. Let's go c3. Can't be that bad. There you go, bishop b6. Okay, let's occupy space with a4. Maybe b4. Okay, let's go b4. Now a5 and b5 are both threatened. Okay. Now things are gonna go wrong here. I think I'm gonna castle and take and go 94 at some point. I'm gonna take and go knight c4. Ah, but why did I go b4? Now this is weak. Okay, I have to go knight e4, but then f5. Okay, I'm getting a little bit lost in the complexity of this reversed Philidor with the suboptimal move h4. Yeah, let's go knight c4. Okay, let's take this. Would be pretty happy to do this. Let's go back to c1. Bishop takes e4. Ah, was knight takes c5? But it wasn't. It wasn't. Okay, bishop d2 now. So rook e1. Hopefully at some point I'm gonna get knight h2. Knight h2. And now we're getting slightly back in the game. Okay, rook ad1. Just praying for black to go knight f4 so I can trade that. Because this bishop on d2 is stuck there. They want to go rook a8, I assume. Let's go knight g3. Wishing for knight f4 again. h5 is now attacked. So finally this bishop is free, and now we're back to finally back in the game. But we have 48 seconds. But we're winning the h5 pawn. Unless they go knight h4. Ah no, knight g4, bishop takes d8. Knight g4, bishop takes d8. So we're winning h5. Ah, it's the sacrifice. Ah, this take. Okay, let's pause here for a second. Okay, there's nothing better. Should we keep this guy? Nah. Let's go into this endgame. I'm losing myself here a little. Maybe I shouldn't have gone for this. Now we're liquidating. A draw would be a fair result. Wait a second, 92? We're trapping... Now we're just winning the full piece. It could have been only the exchange, but now it's the full piece. Okay, let's take everything we can. Oh no, shouldn't have allowed this. Oh no, are we lagging? Lagging here would be pretty deadly. Okay. Okay. Epa, there we go. What am I doing? 1 h4. Sorry about Petrov. I was I had no choice. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. This is according to the Leech's opening. Katas. But yeah, I wonder what you should play here. I guess, yeah, I should just play normal stuff. So for example, when white opens up with knight f3, like let's say you get two tempos, like h5 and then d5, maybe makes more sense. Because d6 is already playing for kind of in a passive mode. So having the h5 is a concession. I didn't know about Rosen. The engine thinks we're surviving up to this point, and then actually we could have taken here and played knight c4 right away, which is the type of thing I was looking for, but I played b4 first, and this is now a worse version. Of course, because knight takes c3 is always a problem. So that was pretty bad. And then I was super happy when knight d5, like according to the engine, knight takes e2, followed by rook d8, and it's game over. Because queen takes d3 is coming, and if I come here, e4 is just winning. But now it's roughly equal, and then back. This is a mistake by me, by the way. b5 was better. Or knight g5. Yeah, knight g5 maybe a better... Yeah, I don't know why I went knight h2. Knight g5 is more active. And here it's just roughly equal. So we survived. And after this, bishop g5, and we're doing well. And here... we should have gone queen d2. Because there's bishop b6 and there's no escape square for this knight. Ugh. This is pathetic. And now black is winning all of a sudden. We should have gone bishop f6. Oh, bishop f6. What a move, bishop f6. Look at this. So you're winning g7 by force. And rook e6 has to be played. Rook e6 the only move that keeps the balance. And then knight b2. Wow, okay. Insane stuff. And then, of course, my opponent got a little bit ambitious, as they should. But instead, knight takes e3 was better. Because now knight e2 is pretty strong. Only move. And the reason why knight f5 is not working is because that rook f4 now is attacking. So from e2, the rook cannot attack the knight. So if you notice that this is attacked, this is defended, but, you know, this is very delicate. There are not many squares for the rook. I mean, technically there are, but they're in front of my pawns. So yeah, it just works. Everything works. And technically this is not a square. So all of these squares are taken, except these two, but we can push pawns. Sorry. We ended up managing our time reasonably well. Oh no, did I move something? D6. Let's go knight f6. Let's go knight bd7. They're trying to confuse us, but it just transposes into the Philidor. They go rook e1, so c6 makes sense here. Although let's go c6, a4, a5, h3, a5, a4 transposes. h3 is a very natural move here. They go bishop b3. Okay, bishop b3. So we can take and go knight c5. Actually, I don't see why not going takes and knight c5, because knight c5 now hits the bishop. So if anything, it's just a better version. Unless I'm not understanding stuff. Okay, let's just take this. And then reroute the other knight. I also have bishop g4, bishop h5. Do I have d5? Takes. Creates a weakness, but it is the liberating move d5. Knight g4, knight e5 is also in the air. Maybe knight d7, knight g4, bishop g4, bishop g4, queen g3, bishop h5. Rook e8 is a very natural move. Let's play rook e8. They come back. So now d5 is also, again a counter move, but then e5 is a little bit annoying. So let's go knight d7. Okay, maybe knight g4 is a better way of getting to e5, because then knight f5 is not a problem. There's also bishop f8. Okay, let's play h6 first, and then bishop f8. Okay. Okay, knight d7. Ah, there's queen b6 as well, hitting the knight and hitting b2. These two guys. Bishop h6. Ah no, I take. Or take. Or take, and take. Typical chess language. So they go knight b3. I'm pretty happy to see that move. Now I go bishop e6, creating another threat. I'm developing this bishop. Black should be slightly better already. So they go for that, which we calculated before, but maybe things have changed. Maybe we could take here, but I don't think that works. Let's just take twice. Bishop g5, I probably have to go knight d7. If that, I think I can take here. I don't know. Actually, maybe. I don't have time. Let's go for it. It looks funny. Leon killer. He wrote down. Oh no, it's funny for him. He wrote down it is funny. So he's listening to the stream. What? He should be muted. F5? I know. Let's take. Why, he says. He writes down why. Okay. Let's go rook e7. Claiming that's a weakness. Let's go f5. So now I'm going to be very careful with what I say, given that I am getting streams knight. Rook e6, rook g6, trying to defend that guy like that. Nah, maybe I should have taken and then gone rook e6. Okay, check. This. 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 Oh, this is such a cheapo. Yeah. I just wanted rook takes f2. I'm getting flagged here. Is that gonna help? I don't think so. Oh, maybe it does. Oh no, it doesn't. Oh, not sure. No, it doesn't. Good game, Leon Killer. Do I know this fellow? No, I don't. Let's close this. Let's analyze this. Yeah, no. It is technically cheating, right? Yeah. I'm not sure if he was trying to be funny or just trying to be mean. Either way. We're gonna take it as I'm confused. Yeah, bishop e3 is a weird move. Bishop e3 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th most played move. It's technically fine. People play more h3 and b3. But bishop e3 takes d4, knight takes d4, knight c5. we approach this like it makes sense because if black wanted to do this, sorry, I'm shouting. If black wanted to do this after h3, then it makes more sense to do it now that the bishop on b3 is getting hit. So our logic made sense. And queen f3 is wrong. People play bishop a2 or bishop c4, which kind of proves the point that bishop e3 didn't make much sense, although you can argue that white wanted to provoke black to react like this. But okay, if black wanted to react like that regardless, even after h3 as we said, then of course it makes sense. So we took here and it's absolutely equal, no problems whatsoever. And then h6 was wrong by us. We should have gone bishop g4. Bishop g4, queen g3. And queen b6 here. Queen b6 here. Aha, yeah. It's difficult to put the queen on b4, especially after a4 and a5. Yeah. And after this, we h3, yeah, black is, I mean, it's roughly equal. It's still equal. Queen b6, rook a d1 was more logical, sacrificing this, and gone rook e3. Rook e3 threatening. Rook b1, of course, yeah. And rook b1 right away doesn't work because of queen a3. So once again, let's go back to this. Rook b1, queen a3. Now there is... Okay, well, let's see. Bishop takes h6. What? Okay, let's just triangulate. So it's white to play now. Rook e1, queen a3. Knight d5. Yeah. That's why we actually made a very meaningful move with king h8, which I just wanted a waiting move, but now knight d5 doesn't work because of queen a2 and knight takes f6 is not the check anymore, so we can take. But before it didn't work, so knight takes f6 is damaging the structure, and yeah, we're not in time. Yeah, now our opponent was stream sniping. I think his he wasn't friendly. I think he, if we play against him again, I think we'll have to abort. Unfortunate. Okay, it's already the hour. Well, this is going to be the last game. This is going to be the last game, but hopefully everyone has been learning something. Okay, I had a sense that my opponent our opponent were going to finally play e4, e5. So e4, e5. Let's play knight f3. And there are tons of things we can play, but we like playing the 4 knights. We like playing the 4 knights. After knight f6, there's bishop b5, which we've been trying, but I'm just going to play the pure 4 knights. So takes, bishop b4, we take. This is all theory. It's very logical, of course. Normally black wants to take with the d pawn, so they can develop the bishop quickly. But of course it runs into queen takes d8, and it's not that good. Although it could be played to surprise the opponent. So here we take... I met queen e7 recently, to which white has to replay queen e2, but okay, black goes for the standard. I'm gonna castle here. And I'm gonna play bishop g5. After c6 I play h3. And I'm gonna play queen f3. When they play e4, play d5. E takes d5, knight f6, want some thoughts for tomorrow. Okay, I'll take a look at that. Hello, Doc Waffle. So h6, h6, bishop h4. Here, queen f3 makes sense. Putting pressure on f6. It's proved that black shouldn't be worried about, yeah, so they should play bishop d6 and invite white to even take. So the double pawns are not a problem. So there was a move that Nakamura popularized, and he beat Fabiano Caruana, and I'm not sure which move that was. I'm just gonna play rook fe1, which looks natural. To which black probably just has to play bishop d7 or bishop e6. Bishop e6 is fine. And I'm hoping that 92, 94 is going to hit the bishop, therefore being slightly better. We have 1 minute 30. We already spent half of our... Oh no, did I blunder this? G4, queen e3. Oof. Yeah, this is not good. Okay, I was worried there. I think G4 was probably working. Not sure why it wasn't. I think it was. Okay, we're gonna take with the F. Let's take with the... Let's take with the F1 with the idea of using the F file. So knight f5 is tempting. I think I'm gonna play knight f5 actually. We have to take with the bishop because c4 is coming. Queen takes f5. c4 looked pretty annoying. And now let's just play rook f1, I guess. Should we start with king h2? I think I'm gonna start with king h2. Not sure if king h1 or king h2 was better. Always a big question. Now h4 is a little bit less playable. I'm gonna triplify. Okay, let's play c3, not only to defend this, but also to move the bishop away. Multifunctional move. So now we have successfully built the Aljechin's pistol, although people say that the Aljechin's pistol is with... Aljechin's gun, sorry. But people say that the Aljechin's gun is with the rooks in front and then the queen behind, but okay. No one knows. No one knows. Oh, I have queen d1, queen d1. I have queen h5. Ah, no, I don't have any of those because queen takes g3. Bad news, bad news. Okay, I guess queen d1. But that's not going well. Okay, let's go queen c. Ugh. Let's take. Let's take. Queen d2. Trying to go for queen c2. Okay. Okay, let's take everything and play rook f1 and make a draw. Well, hopefully. Okay. Completely messed this up. Classic. Yeah, no, this is hopeless. Do it. Do it. Oh, okay. Thanks for the game, El Eslavo. We managed our time poorly in that one. We got a decent position, but yeah, this is fun. Bishop g3. g4 is not working for... just queen e3. Okay. I thought there was some discovery. Yeah, so... Yeah, we're slightly better, but we should have taken with the pawn, with the queen. And we should have taken here. Yeah, we played a little bit... Failed to trust my instinct. Failed to trust my instinct. And here it's just slightly better for black. Like, there's nothing. And rook e3 is very strong. I failed to realize that d4 was also threatening in rook e3. And it's game over. It's game over. After this, it's just game over. Oh, I have... Whoa, I have chances now? c6 d4? Queen 6 d4? I just should have traded. Yeah. Yeah. Instead of this, black should have played d3. And I'm getting squashed to 94. I know. Not yet. Let's say I play king h1. Okay, just g4, h5, c4. Let's take a look at what Viking was saying. You were saying... You want to... Okay, so with the black pieces, you played this. Some thoughts for this. Okay, Well, let's take a look at the opening book, because I normally see this with the white pieces. So this is known as the modern variation of Scandinavian, which, like, according to me, it was called the Portuguese Gambit or something like that. Exactly. Portuguese Gambit. Star Doom. So, yeah, the opening book just calls whatever they want. Like, it's just, yeah. They have different names. Don't trust the leeches in this sense, but trust leeches in other things, such as the opening book. I think it does have a pretty decent amount of Masters games. Either way, so there's clearly, let's say 4 main moves, and this is a sideline, okay? Because as white, if you play knight c3, this is not super ambitious. So there's d4, there's bishop b5, there's knight f3, and there's c4. c4, as far as I'm concerned, is pretty risky, and probably what white won't play, because it's well known that black equalizes. Whereas with d4, knight f3, and bishop b5, white still has some plus. So I'm gonna omit c4. I'm gonna assume that you're well prepped with theory here, and yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's easy. I just transposes it to the panel. Okay. Just transposes into something completely different. But let's say white plays d4, which is the most natural move. Do you want to take, or do you want to play bishop g4? I know some people that like bishop g4, and bishop g4 is actually tricky. Here white has a clearly better move. And I thought it was bishop b5, and I think it is bishop b5. What has Magnus played? Okay, this is 2010 Magnus. Okay. And by the way, looking at what Magnus played is not always the best thing. Because Magnus is not okay, he's amazing, and he has tons of people working behind him. But for example, I think when it comes to openings, they're opening specialists. For example, a good example is Maxime Vacher-Lagrave in the Nachtdorf. He plays the Nachtdorf religiously. So looking at his games rather than Magnus would be more useful. I mean, of course, Magnus wouldn't have as many games as him. So that's one other reason. You go e6, not c6. Well, the question was, do you go bishop g4 or do you take? Unless I'm forgetting about something. You go e6, not c6. You go e6, not c6. Ah, I see. In the Panov. Ah, yeah. Takes, c4. You go e6. Ah, okay. So you don't go into the Panov. You go into e6. Okay. And this has independent value, I'm assuming. Knight c6. Bishop e2. So white, one of the problems is that white can't easily go d4 because there's bishop e4, and after knight c3, knight e4. Then they have to play bishop d2. It reminds me actually of the late Alapins we get. You get the bishop pair, queen takes d2. You play bishop g4 here. Wow, this is already slightly better for white. What did we do wrong? Ah, queen e7. So knight c6 is already a mistake according to the engine. Depth 44. Look at this. Depth 44. We move this for... Oh, okay, you can't see it. This is depth 44, decent depth. And the engine likes clearly queen e7, and it gives 0.5 centipawns. Or sorry, 5 centipawns, I think is the right terminology. Of difference between the top 1 and the top 3. The number 1 and the number 3. So you should go in queen e7 here. You know this. Okay, queen e7. Queen e2, knight c6. And then here, once again, by quite a big margin, black has to go bishop f5. So the most popular move here is losing because of d5. And the reason why people play it is because they're hoping that their opponent won't find all of these best moves. I mean, I get it, because it does look scary for white. And I think white can even just play bishop e3, although a3 is the absolute best. And then bishop e3, for reasons that we could find out, but it would be time consuming to find out. So I'm assuming Viking is not going to go for this. You're going to go for Bishop f5, which is the top engine move. Now you're threatening knight b4, now that there's connection on c2. Ah, you have knight a5 here. Very important move, knight a5 here. So a3 is preventing knight b4. Although in the only database, in the only game, sorry, of the database, white played queen takes e7 and then bishop e3. But that allows knight b4, only move, but good enough to equalize. And black is doing well. Black is going to continue with c5, rook h e8. They have enough compensation. So that's one line. So that was what? d4, e6. I know that was c4, e6, takes, knight f3. Knight c6 was a mistake, so queen e7. Am I right? Is this? Yeah. Queen e2 is the best move, and then knight c6, and then bishop f5. To support knight b4, knight c2. So instead of c4, let's say white goes d4, knight takes d5, or not sure what Viking is going to do, but bishop g4 is a well-known gambit. Ah, there we go, the Portuguese gambit. There we go. Portuguese gambit, so I guess that Leeches doesn't give this as the Portuguese gambit yet, because it's, yeah, it's not bishop g4 yet. So it keeps it a little bit flexible for now. Taking on d5, I'm quite sure is not that bad. Yeah, it just gets very... Knight f6 is a mistake here, knight b6. Yeah, the engine likes both of these. g6 is already a mistake, bishop f5 is better. With the idea of e6 and bishop e7. So I'm not sure what you're going to play, Viking, but bishop g4 is... you go bishop g4, yeah. Okay, so by far the most popular move here is f3, although bishop e5 is what I play, as far as I remember. And bishop e5, there are 3 moves here. Well, actually there are 4. But the idea of bishop e5 is to go bishop e2 afterwards, I thought. Never mind. Okay, interesting. Let's take a look at what the engine thinks. The engine thinks f3 is the top engine. Sorry. F3 is the top engine move. Which black already has to go bishop d7. And claim that f3 is going to be a weakness. And the engine, being the engine, likes holding on to the pawn. Now, seeing you want to play e6 here, similar to the previous line, because it's hard to believe that f3 changes so much, right? I mean, we know that it does because the engine is telling us that it is a big difference, and it is clear advantage for black, but I struggle to see it. What's the difference after queen e7? The difference is that queen e2 no longer, because of what we know. Knight c6 ideas. But even here, we got this in a weird order. But the point is that king f2 is going to be... King f2 is going to be useful in the future, which is very hard to believe people are going to find. Very hard to believe that people are going to find king f2. But okay, if you want to play less risky chess, go c6. This is not a crushing advantage for white, it's just 0.6. And the main line goes like this. And then you just go g6, bishop g7, and you castle. So for example, something like this. Here, because queen takes b7 is a threat, you go queen b6, and you should be fine. But of course, I think f3 is not... I mean, it is the most popular move. I think bishop b5 was well known. Among masters, this is what I would get more. And then... I remember now. So if they go bishop here... What was the difference? Bishop here, just go bishop e2. All bishop takes d7, so this is not good for black. So that's black. That's why black has to go knight bd7. Yeah. But at the same time, it gains a tempo. But the engine thinks that you're not losing after bishop d7. But you have to play c6, so you can't play e6 anymore. And yeah, this is not that bad. And with modern engines, you know, 0.7 dilutes slowly to zeros. But you have to know tons of theory, I'm assuming. And there's also knight f3 simply. But I'm assuming this is the least of your problems. Like this is similar to the Alapin stuff. White has to go bishop e2 because if they go knight c3, bishop takes f3. And no, queen h5. And then bishop e2, knight c6, already slightly better for black. What? Okay, not slightly better, but already equal. If they go h3, you castle queenside. There's tons of pressure. So that's why they go bishop e2 here. They go c4, they go queen f5. And you castle queenside. So I guess that's why probably what you're gonna get the most is something like this. And then you just go bishop d7. Oh, wait a second, sorry. Why on earth have I been saying bishop d7? By far the most... Okay, bishop f5 is what people play the most. Which the engine punishes because of g4. Ah, I see. Well, I see why people play this. So people know that the top engine move is bishop d7, but they decide to play bishop f5 because it's more difficult to find g4 over the board. You need to know this to play it, because it's weakening the king. So I think you should definitely go bishop f5. Especially because people like... Yeah, all GMs are going for this, and the grandmasters are aware. So that you should go for bishop f5. And then if your opponent... Like, I'm quite sure you can continue asking questions, even if they blitz out the top engine move. So for example, here... Well, it does look pretty grim here. Let's say e6. Oh, it looks pretty bad. Let's play e6, because I think this is the scariest. You start creating the image of queen h4 check in your opponent's mind. And taking is actually a mistake, because you simply take back. What? Or knight c6. So this is already equal. Whereas c6 you don't encourage to take, but e6 you do encourage them to take. It's more likely that they're going to take because they think, oh, they have to take with the pawn and this looks ugly. Even this is equal, which is insane. But knight c3 is the top engine move, and after e takes d5. Yeah, this is super difficult to find. To calculate that. So the reason why white is winning is because of g5. Anything else is just a moderate advantage. This is +1. Even this, you could argue you can maybe defend, but okay. So that's why the engine likes going bishop e7. Here, taking once again is not the best, because you take f takes e6, and I guess you just castle. I know you just go knight c6 or castles, yeah. You also have c5. Maybe this is tricky. They have to take with the knight. C takes d5 is not that good because of knight b6. So knight takes d5, knight c6, and they have to find h4. Wow. Yeah, go for this line then. They have to find tons of accurate moves. They have to go h5 here. They have to realize that after knight takes d4, there's... I mean, queen e5 is extremely difficult. Queen takes e7. And realize and calculate that this is winning. King d2 is wrong, by the way, because of rook d8. So they have to go king f2. Yeah, go for this line. Even the resulting position is a little bit unclear. Like, white is winning after g takes h7. Take a look at that line. But yeah, we're past our time. Good luck, Viking. Thanks for that donation. For once, I actually won a game after your suggestion. Hopefully you guys learned something out of the analysis. I'll be looking into the openings I played today and bring them tomorrow for the 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. stream. Thanks everyone. See you tomorrow. Have a good day.